Be me, engineering student. I label my leftovers with a date and the contents. I own a label maker. I love it more than most people. My life is clean lines and predictable systems. Then there's my roommate, Eli. Eli is a geology major and a walking landslide. He leaves cereal bowls until they grow ecosystems. His half of the apartment looks like a tornado got bored. We balance out. Mostly, I clean. He apologizes. The system holds. Except for one variable I can't control. His little sister, Maya, art student, lives 3 buildings over in the dorms. Spiritually, she lives on our couch. She uses our laundry, eats our snacks. And she has decided I am her personal nemesis. To her brother, she's all sunshine. Eli, you're the best. Want some of my fries? To me, she's a heat-seeking insult. Case in point, the whiteboard. We keep a little whiteboard on the fridge. It's supposed to be for grocery lists. It's now a gallery of crimes against my face. Today's masterpiece, me as a startled potato. She labeled it Robo-Nerd out of batteries. The line work is genuinely good. I hate that. I erase it. I write, need oat milk. By dinner, she's drawn me crying about the oat milk. Then there's the mug. I own a ceramic toad mug. It is hideous, warty, slightly cross-eyed. My grandmother made it. I treasure it. Maya knows this. So Maya drinks out of it on purpose. Every single time. She holds eye contact while she sips, watching for the exact moment my eye twitches. I never give her the twitch. On the outside, on the inside, every muscle in my jaw signs a petition. My strategy is simple. Be a wall. You don't argue with a mosquito. You just exist. So, I stay calm. Flat voice, zero reaction. It drives her up the wall, which is its own quiet reward. Here's the part I don't say out loud. She's kind of impossible to ignore. She talks with her whole body. She smells like citrus and oil paint. There's always one streak of color on her wrist. I notice these things. I file them. I tell no one, especially not Eli. Anyway, the reason this week matters, I'm getting my wisdom teeth out Saturday, all 4. The surgeon called them ambitious. I'm a little nervous, which I also tell no one. Eli claps me on the back like a sitcom dad. Don't even worry, bro. I got you all weekend. Soup, movies, full nurse mode. For 1 second, I actually relax. The system is covered. Backup confirmed. Then his phone buzzes. I watch his face fall in real time. Okay, tiny thing. Mandatory geology field trip. This weekend, rocks in the mountains. No signal, no exceptions. But it's fine, he says, already not believing himself. I'll find someone to watch you. His eyes drift to the couch, to the person currently drinking from my toad mug. Maya lowers the mug, slowly. She smiles at me like a cat at a cornered bird. Oh, she says, this is going to be fun. I have made a terrible logistical error. Saturday arrives like a scheduled disaster. The surgery itself is a blur of bright lights and a guy in scrubs counting backward. Then I'm in the passenger seat of Eli's car. Except it's not Eli driving. Eli is somewhere in a mountain holding a rock. Maya is driving, and she keeps glancing at me like I'm a package she got tricked into signing for. I can't feel the bottom half of my face. I have gauze packed in my cheeks like a hamster preparing for winter. We get back to the apartment. She basically pours me onto the couch. I land in a heap of blankets that smell like home and antiseptic. The painkillers kick in somewhere around the second cushion. The ceiling becomes very interesting. The world goes soft and warm and slightly tilted. I am, to use a technical term, completely cooked. Maya stands over me with her arms crossed. Okay, Chipmunk, she says. You're alive. Congrats. I try to respond. What comes out is a noise like a dial-up modem giving up. She snorts. She sits down on the coffee table, which is against my rules, which I cannot enforce while drooling. She picks up the TV remote. She does not turn on the TV. She uses the remote to poke my swollen cheek. Poke. Wow. Squishy. Poke. You look like you lost a fight with a beehive. I summon every ounce of willpower I have left. I manage to glare. It is, I'm sure, the least intimidating glare in recorded history. She pulls out her phone. Eli's gonna love this. She takes a photo from below, the worst possible angle, all jaw and gauze. She takes another one. She makes me hold the toad mug for a third, propping it against my chest like a sad little trophy. I am being documented at my lowest. I want to file a complaint. I cannot find the form, or my mouth, or my arms. Smile, she says, grinning. Or don't. You can't. She's having the time of her life. I'm having a slow descent into a warm gray fog. The painkillers pull harder now. My eyelids get heavy in a way that isn't a choice. I try to stay up out of pure spite. Spite loses. My eyes slide shut. And then something strange happens. My body just stops. Not sleep, not exactly. Every muscle goes slack and unhooks from the controls. I can still hear everything. The hum of the fridge, her foot tapping, a car outside. I just can't move a single part of me. It's like the lights are on, but the operator left the building. I'm awake inside a body that's clocked out. I try to twitch a finger. Nothing happens. A small panic starts up in my chest, very quiet, very stuck. Then Maya's voice cuts through. Hey, you out? She waits. She pokes my cheek again. I don't react. I can't. Huh, she says, softer now. Guess you really are. And then I hear it. The little click of the TV being muted, the shift of weight as she slides off the coffee table. She settles onto the floor, right beside my head, so close I can smell citrus and paint over the antiseptic. And then she lets out this long, shaky breath, like she'd been holding it for hours. It's nothing like the voice she uses on me. I am trapped, awake, and suddenly very confused about what comes next. She sits there for a while, just breathing next to my ear. I'm doing my best impression of furniture. It's going great because I have no other option. Then I hear her get up, footsteps to the kitchen, the freezer opening, the clatter of something being shoved around in there. She comes back and sits down again. These are warm, she mutters. Useless. She means the ice packs on my jaw. She peels them off, careful, like she's diffusing something. Her fingers are cold from the freezer. She tucks a bag of frozen peas against one side of my face, then a second bag on the other. She adjusts them, tilts my chin a little, soft, exact movements. Nothing like the girl who poked me with a remote. There, she says, quiet. Better. I want to ask who she is and what she did with my nemesis. I can't ask anything. I lie there like a defrosting roast and listen. She sighs again. You're so annoying, you know that? Here we go, I think. Familiar ground. Not even loud annoying, quiet annoying. You just sit there being all calm and folded up neat. Like nothing ever gets to you. Her voice is low, like she's talking to herself. I leave you the worst drawings, real masterpieces. And you just erase them and write neat oat milk. Who does that? Who stays that level? I would file this under fair criticism if I could file anything. Then her tone shifts, goes smaller. The mug thing isn't even about getting to you. My internal systems perk up. Mug thing? It's your dumb toad mug, the cross-eyed one. I drink out of it because you touched it. Because my mouth's on something your mouth was on. That's so embarrassing I might actually combust. Somewhere in my chest, my heart files an emergency report. It starts pounding. My face does not move. My face is a sleeping potato. She has no idea I'm in here screaming. I don't even know how to talk to you normally, she says. So I just insult you. It's a whole reflex now. Be mean to the guy so he never figures it out. Figures what out, I think, very loudly, internally. That I've had this stupid thing for you since spring. There it is. She just says it, plain. To my unconscious face. The room tilts in a way that isn't the painkillers. You're put together, and I'm a disaster in paint-stained jeans. You alphabetize your spices. I lose my own shoes. I do alphabetize my spices. This is not the point. She's quiet for a second. Then I feel her hand in my hair. Gentle, just pushing it off my forehead. Careful, like I might wake up if she presses too hard. I would give anything to open my eyes right now. Anything to twitch one finger and say something. My body does not accept the request. Whatever, she says, almost a laugh, almost not. Like you'd ever look twice at a mess like me. A soft pat on my shoulder. Then her weight lifts off the floor. I hear her stand, sniff, once square herself up. Okay, dishes, she announces to nobody. Water starts running in the kitchen. A plate clinks. She's already rebuilding the wall, brick by brick. And I'm stuck flat on the couch, frozen peas on my face, heart going like a drum solo, knowing something I was never supposed to know, and absolutely no way to put it back. I come back to the world in pieces. The gray fog peels off slow. First my fingers answer when I ask them to twitch. Then my jaw, which feels like it got slammed in a door. The peas on my face have gone warm and soggy. The room is dim, late afternoon light. I don't know how long I was under, long enough that my mouth tastes like a battlefield. I open my eyes, the ceiling, familiar, stable. I turn my head, very carefully, like it might fall off. Maya is in the armchair across the room, knees up, phone an inch from her nose, scrolling so hard her thumb might catch fire. The second she clocks that I'm awake, her whole face resets. The soft thing from before, gone, locked in a vault, key thrown in a river. "Oh good," she says. The corpse moves. There she is, my nemesis, fully reassembled. I just look at her. I'm not even mad. I'm recalibrating. This is the same girl who tucked frozen peas on my cheeks. The same voice that told my sleeping face about spring. And now she's flicking a granola bar wrapper at my head. "You hungry, chipmunk? You should eat." She gets up, vanishes into the kitchen. Cabinets bang. A microwave hums. She comes back and sets a bowl on my chest. Mashed potatoes, lukewarm. A spoon stabbed in like a flag. "Real food's too ambitious for that hamster face," she says. I poke at it. My hands still feel borrowed. "And don't fall asleep again," she adds. "I will absolutely draw a unibrow on you." I've got a Sharpie and zero respect. I believe both of those things. Normally I'd give her the wall. Flat voice, no points. But I can't do flat right now. Because I know. I keep watching her instead. She doesn't like that. Her foot starts tapping against the leg of the armchair. She won't look right at me. She looks at her phone, the window, the Toad mug on the counter, anywhere that isn't my eyes. And I notice the tells now that I have the answer key, the way she chews the inside of her cheek, the way she folds her arms tighter when I don't snap back. She's waiting for the rhythm. Insult, wall, repeat. Our whole song. I'm just not singing my part. It's a strange feeling, holding all the cards. I could end it right here. "Hey Maya, I heard everything, citrus and paint and all." I could watch her short out like a dropped phone. But I think about her voice going small. Like you'd ever look twice at a mess like me. And I find I don't want to do that to her, not for a cheap win. That, and there's a second reason I'm less proud of. I like this. I like that she came back from the freezer twice. I like that, under the Sharpie threats, she chose careful. I spoon a tiny bit of potato past the gauze. It's bland and a little cold, and weirdly the best thing ever. Maya catches me watching her again. Her ears go pink. "Why are you staring at me like that?" I shrug, slow and easy. "Knock it off. You look like a creepy owl. All swollen and blinking. It's unsettling. I can't really smile. My face won't cooperate, but I do something around the gauze that gets close. She narrows her eyes, suspicious, like she smells a trap. She has no idea. Last week she was a problem I tolerated. Now she's a puzzle I already solved, sitting 3 feet away. And I'm starting to think I want to dismantle that wall of hers, brick by brick, while fully awake this time. A week passes. The swelling drains out of my face like a tide going out. The gauze goes in the trash. I can chew solid food again, which feels like a superpower. My jaw still clicks if I yawn too wide, but I'm me again. Clean lines, predictable systems. Except one variable rewrote itself while I was unconscious. I've had 7 days to think about it. 7 days to build a plan. Most guys would gloat, spill the beans, win the fight. I'm not most guys. I'm an engineer. You don't dismantle a wall by hitting it harder. You find the load-bearing piece and you pull, gently. Her load-bearing piece is the hostility. So, I'm going to remove it by refusing to play. The first test arrives Tuesday evening. Maya lets herself in like she pays rent. Here. Drops her bag by the door. Steals a clementine from the bowl. She heads straight for the whiteboard on the fridge. I pretend to read on the couch. I watch over the top of my book. She uncaps the marker with her teeth, tongue between her lips, focused. A minute later, she steps back to admire her work. It's me as a melting candle. Caption, Robo-Nerd, now with feelings, defective. The line work is, annoyingly, excellent. Old me erases it and writes a grocery item. New me sets down the book. I walk over. She braces, already grinning, waiting for the flat voice. Insult, wall, repeat. The song. I pick up the marker. I draw a small lopsided heart next to the melting candle. Then I cap the marker. Your shading's gotten really good, I say. The drips actually look like wax. That's hard to do. Silence. She blinks at the whiteboard. She blinks at me. Her grin does something complicated and then falls off. What? She says. It's not a question. It's a system error. I mean it, I say. You're talented, I notice. I go back to the couch like nothing happened. She stands frozen by the fridge. Clementine forgotten in her hand. That's not... You're supposed to erase it, she says. You always erase it. I'm trying something new. I turn a page I'm not reading. She circles around in front of me, arms crossing, then uncrossing, then crossing again. Okay, what's wrong with you? She demands. Nothing. Did the drug scramble your brain? My brain's fine. I look up at her. By the way, that color suits you, the green sweater. Brings out the pain on your wrist. Her ears go pink. Then her whole face follows. She opens her mouth. Nothing useful comes out. You... Shut up. That's a dumb thing to say. A flawless insult. Truly devastating. And thank you, I add. For last weekend. You didn't have to do the peas or any of it. You took care of me. I appreciate it. Sincere, quiet, no trap she can see. That's the one that breaks her. She makes a strangled noise. She fumbles for her keys in her bag. They slip out of her hand and clatter on the floor. She stares at them like they betrayed her. I get up, pick them up, hold them out. Here. She snatches them. Our fingers brush. She flinches like the toad mug bit her. I have laundry, she announces to the room. There is no laundry. She brought no laundry. She's at the door before I finish smiling. Good night, Maya. The door shuts. I count to 3. Then, muffled through the wood, I hear it. A long, frustrated scream into what I assume is her scarf. I sit back down. Pick up my book. Phase 1. Complete. The wall just lost a brick, and she doesn't even know who pulled it. Thursday night. Eli's at the library until close, chasing a lab report. He texts me a photo of his desk buried in rocks. Pray for me, it says. I send back a thumbs up and a label maker joke he won't get. Then the door clicks. Maya, with a laundry basket this time, an actual one. Real socks and everything. Progress, I think. She doesn't say hi. She marches her basket toward the laundry nook, chin up, ignoring me with the energy of someone working very hard at it. That's fine, because I'm at the stove, and the stove is my home court. I've got a pan going, garlic, butter, something with shallots that smells like a restaurant. I planned this. I'll admit that. The good knife is out. The cutting board is full. Maya makes it about 4 steps past me before she slows down. Her nose does a little involuntary thing. She pretends it didn't. She loads the washer with extreme focus. Then she drifts back, basket abandoned. She leans on the kitchen island, arms folded. What is that, like, sad bachelor pasta? Mushroom risotto, I say. It's not sad. Your chopping's uneven. Look at that onion. That's shallot. Same energy. She's reaching for the rhythm. Insult, wall, repeat. Looking for solid ground. I don't give her the wall. I hand her a wooden spoon instead. Here, taste the sauce and tell me if it needs salt. She stares at the spoon like I handed her a live wire. I'm not your taste tester. You're literally hovering. Make it useful. She takes it, reluctant, suspicious. I dip the spoon for her, hold the pan steady. She tries some, careful, off the side. I watch her face do the thing it does when she likes something and hates that she likes it. It's fine, she says. It's... whatever. It needs salt or no? No, it's good. Then I move, just to adjust the burner. But the burner is right where she's standing, so I step in beside her, close, shoulder almost at her shoulder. I reach past her to nudge the dial down. I feel her go still, not annoyed still, held breath still. You're in my space, she says, quiet, not moving. Stirring, I say. You're the one parked at the stove. I lean a little, looking into the pan, and lower my voice. Is the seasoning right? Honest answer. She doesn't answer. I glance over. She's looking at the risotto like it's the most important thing she's ever seen. Ears pink. Spoon frozen midair. Maya, yes, it's good. The seasoning is good. A small pause. It's really good, okay? There it is. She admitted it twice, out loud. With no insult attached, she seems to hear it the second after I do. Her whole posture short circuits. She thrusts the spoon back at me. I have laundry, she blurts. You started the laundry. I have more laundry, future laundry. She speed walks to the nook and shuts herself in with the hum of the washer. I turn back to the risotto. I stir it slow. I'm smiling like an idiot and there's nobody around to see it. Through the door, I hear her mutter something to herself. Sounds a lot like, get it together. I taste the sauce. She was right. It's good. Another brick, gone. She's running out of wall and she's starting to know it. 2 a.m. I wake up dry-mouthed and stumble out for water. The kitchen light is already on. I figure I left it on. I didn't. Maya's at the island, hunched over her laptop. She's not drawing. She's not scrolling. Her shoulders are doing this small, shaky thing. I stop in the doorway. She hasn't heard me yet. The screen glows on her face, and her face is wet. She wipes it fast with the back of her hand. Then she hears my feet on the tile. Don't, she snaps, not turning around. Just don't. Her voice comes out wrecked. If you're gonna say something smug, save it. I don't say anything smug. I don't say anything at all. I look at her screen. There's an error box, the kind with an exclamation point. My software crashed, she says, words spilling now. The whole project, gone. It just ate it. Portfolio's due Friday. I have nothing. I rendered for 2 hours and it's just gone. She presses the heels of her hands to her eyes. And of course, you're here to watch. Perfect. Great. Add it to the highlight reel. I think about the version of me from a month ago. That guy would have offered a flat, that's rough, and gone back to bed. I fill the kettle instead. She watches me, suspicious, like I'm setting up a punchline. I get a mug down. Not just any mug, the Toad, cross-eyed, warty, Grandma's finest. I pour the tea straight into it and slide it across the counter to her. The handle bumps her elbow. She stares at it like it might croak. You're letting me use the Toad. You always use the Toad, I say. Don't make it weird. A small, wet laugh escapes her. She wraps both hands around it. I pull up the stool next to her. Move over. Let me see. You can't fix it. It's an art thing, It's a file thing. Files are my whole personality. She hesitates. Then she turns the laptop toward me. I start digging. Temp folders, autosave caches, the graveyard where crash programs hide their bodies. She hovers, sniffling, the tea steaming under her chin. There's a recovery file from 20 minutes ago, I say. Her breath catches. Don't joke about that. I don't joke about file recovery. It's sacred. I open it. The project loads, layers and all. She makes a sound I've never heard from her. Something between a gasp and a sob and a laugh. Okay, I say. Now let's make sure this never happens again. For the next 2 hours, I set up autosaves. I export backups to 3 places because I'm me. I fix her file naming, which was chaos, no shock there. And while it renders, I actually look at her work. It's good. Better than good. Bold color. Faces that feel like they're mid-sentence. This one, I say, pointing. The hands here. That's hard to draw. You don't have to do the nice thing. I'm not doing a thing. The hands are good. She goes quiet. The render bar crawls along. The apartment hums. The fridge. The clock. Her panic drains out of her shoulders, slow. At some point, she stops arguing with me. Entirely. She just watches the screen and sips her tea. Then there's a weight against my arm, her head. She's resting it on my shoulder. I freeze the way she froze at the stove. This doesn't mean anything, she mumbles, already half asleep. Sure, I say. Her breathing goes slow and even. The export finishes with a quiet chime. Project saved, 3 copies, bulletproof. I don't move. I sit very still at the kitchen island at 4 in the morning. Toad mug cooling beside us, and Maya asleep on my shoulder, finally out of bricks. The art showcase lands on Friday. Maya made the deadline. 3 backups, bulletproof, you're welcome. The campus gallery is one of those bright white rooms. Track lighting, free punch in tiny plastic cups. People in scarves pretending to understand each other's work. Eli drags me along to support her. He lasts about 90 seconds inside. Then he spots a table of mini quiches and is gone. Back in a sec, he says. He is not back in a sec. So it's just me, near Maya's exhibit. Her panels are up on a clean white wall, the faces mid-sentence, the hands she stressed about. In good light, they're even better. She's standing by them in an actual nice outfit, not paint-stained jeans. She made an effort. She catches me looking and almost smiles. Almost. Then a guy slides into her space, tall, blazer with the sleeves pushed up on purpose. I recognize the type from group projects. Maya, right? We're in the same crit section. She nods, polite, doing the thing where you angle your body away. He does not take the hint. He leans on her wall. Her wall. He starts explaining her own art to her. Something about the negative space conversation. She laughs, but it's the small, uncomfortable one. Her eyes flick around the room, looking for an exit, or a brother, or anyone. She lands on me. I'm already moving. I grab 2 cups of the sad punch off the table. I walk over like I belong there, because I do. Hey, I say to Maya, ready to grab dinner? I hand her a cup. Blazer guy turns, takes me in, unimpressed. And you are? I open my mouth to invent something. I don't get the chance. Maya's hand closes around my arm. She steps in against my side, fast. This is my boyfriend, she says, clear, steady, like it's a fact about the weather. I do not flinch. I do not drop either cup of punch. I slide my arm around her waist like I've done it before. Then I look at Blazer guy. Not a glare, just a calm, flat hold. The wall redeployed. He glances between us, does some quiet math. Right, cool, nice work, Maya, he mutters. He retreats toward the quiche table. Eli is going to have competition over there. Maya keeps holding my arm until he's gone, then a few seconds longer. Thanks, she says under her breath. Sorry, it's fine. We start walking toward the door. The crowd thins, the lights stay bright. She lets go of my arm. Her hand falls into the space between us. For a second, neither of us does anything. Then she goes to pull it back to her side. I don't let her. I weave my fingers through hers. Easy, like the seasoning question, like the toad mug. She stops walking. What are you doing? She says, not sharp, just careful. Holding your hand. That was for the guy. He's gone. I tighten my grip, just a little. I know, I say. I didn't mind it. Her ears go pink under the gallery lights. She doesn't pull away. We walk out into the cold like that, hand in hand. 2 cups of terrible punch. And I realize I'm running out of plan, because somewhere between the peas and this hallway, the strategy became real. I built this whole careful campaign to dismantle her wall. I forgot to ask what I'd do once it actually came down. We get back to the apartment. The cold follows us in through the door. Maya kicks off her shoes and starts pacing. The good outfit, the gallery lighting, all of it still buzzing off her. She's doing the nervous laugh, the one that means she's about to talk herself out of something. So that was wild, she says. The boyfriend thing. Worked, though. Saved me from Blazer guy. She circles the living room, touches the back of the couch, the armchair, anything that isn't me. It's funny, right? Total improv. I panicked. Good lie, though. Believable. We sold it. I lean against the kitchen counter and watch her spin it. She's building the wall back in real time, brick by brick, calling the whole thing a bit. The hand-holding, the punch, all a clever performance. I should let her have it. The smart move is to nod and let it sit. I do not make the smart move, because I've been carrying this thing for weeks, and some petty, soft part of me wants her to know I know. For what it's worth, I say. I didn't mind being your fake boyfriend. Not bad for a guy you called a stupid put-together chipmunk. She laughs. Then she stops laughing. What did you just say? I keep my voice easy. The chipmunk thing, and the part about me alphabetizing my spices. Which I do. You weren't wrong. The color leaves her face like someone pulled a plug. She goes still in the middle of the rug. I never said that to you. You said it to me, I tell her. I was just asleep, mostly. I watch the math happen behind her eyes. The couch, the peas, the freezer trips, the long, shaky breath next to my head, her hand in my hair, the thing she had since spring. You were awake, she says. It comes out flat. The surgery, the painkillers, you weren't out. I couldn't move, I say. But yeah, I heard it. All of it. For a second, she doesn't say anything. Then her whole face changes. The soft thing from the kitchen, gone. Something harder slams down in its place. You heard me, she says, and you just let me. Maya, you let me sit there and pour my guts out to a wall. And then you what? Made it a project, a little game? The compliments, the risotto, the hand-holding. You knew the whole time. I wanted to do it right, I say. Awake, both of us. But she's not in a place to hear right. So the toad mug, the tea at 4 a.m. That was you managing me, knowing exactly which buttons to push. I wasn't pushing buttons. You're an engineer, she says, and it lands like an accusation. You found the load-bearing thing and you pulled it. That one hits because it's almost exactly what I told myself. She grabs her coat off the chair, yanks it on with the wrong arm first. Maya, can you just let me explain? You had weeks to explain. You picked tonight, after the hand-holding. Cute. That's not why Don't. She gets the coat on, grabs her bag. Her keys are in her hand and shaking a little. You're a manipulative jerk, she says. And the worst part is you did it so nicely. She's at the door before I push off the counter. Maya, wait. The door shuts, not a slam, worse than a slam, a clean, quiet click. I stand there in the middle of the apartment, 2 cups of gallery punch still on the counter going flat, the toad mug in the sink, the whiteboard on the fridge with her melting candle, and my dumb little heart. I run the whole thing back, every step of the careful campaign, and I find the exact place I miscalculated. I built a plan to take down her wall. I never once planned how to tell her I'd seen behind it. I thought timing would be kind. Turns out there's no clever hour to admit you were a witness to someone's worst, softest moment. I sit down on the couch, the same couch. Frozen peas weeks ago, a confession I was never meant to keep. I'm the most organized person I know, and I just fumbled the one thing that actually mattered. So now I have to do the thing I'm worst at. No system, no flat voice, no wall. Just go find her and be a person about it. The question is whether she'll open the door long enough to let me. I don't sleep. I lie on the couch and stare at the whiteboard, the melting candle, my dumb little heart. Around 6 I give up and make a plan, a real one. The kind I'm actually good at. By 8 I've packed a paper bag, a fresh bag of frozen peas because the joke writes itself. The toad mug, washed and dried. The mini whiteboard, unscrewed off the fridge. I draw on it before I leave. A stick figure of me. Square glasses, stupid neat hair, holding a lopsided heart, drawn by a guy with 0 talent. The contrast with her work is humiliating. Good. That's the point. I walk to her dorm building. It's not far. 3 buildings over, like always. I'm at her door before I lose my nerve. I knock, shuffling inside. A long pause. The door cracks. One eye and a mess of hair. Go away. I will, I say. After this. I hold up the bag. She doesn't take it. So I just start pulling things out. The peas. For your face. Next time you cry over a laptop. Nothing. Not even a twitch. The toad mug. You can keep it. You clearly love it more than I do. That gets a flicker. A small, annoyed flicker. Then the whiteboard. I turn it around so she can see my terrible drawing. She looks at it for a long second. That's the worst caricature I've ever seen, she says. I know. I have no talent. You have all of it. She doesn't shut the door. I take that as a green light, so I drop the act, the whole calm, folded-up thing. I should have told you the second I could move, I say. I didn't, and that's on me. But here's the truth, and it's not a strategy. You spent months being mean, so I'd never get close. That hostility was the only armor you had. I didn't want to rip it off you while you were down. I wanted you to hand it to me, awake, on purpose. She's gripping the edge of the door. So you ran a whole campaign instead, she says. Yeah, badly. The risotto was real, though. And the file recovery. And the hand-holding. None of that was managing you, Maya. That was just me, falling for the most stubborn person I've met. Her eye gets shiny. You alphabetize your spices, she says, like an insult. You drink out of my dead grandma's toad mug, I say. We're both a disaster, just different brands. The door opens the rest of the way. She's in an oversized shirt and yesterday's eyeliner. She looks at the bag, then at me. You walked all the way here with frozen peas. They're probably thawing. I rushed. She grabs me by the collar of my jacket, pulls me in, and kisses me right there in the dorm hallway. The bag crinkles between us. The mug clinks. I don't care. She tastes like coffee and she's smiling against my mouth. You're still a jerk, she mumbles. Noted, filing it under accurate. A few weeks later, Eli comes home from a morning class. He stops dead in the kitchen doorway. I'm at the stove, scrambling eggs. Maya is sitting on the counter, which is against my rules. She's wearing one of my shirts. She's drinking coffee out of the Toad mug. Eli looks at her, at me, at the mug. His brain visibly buffers. What, he says, is happening? Maya just toasts him with the Toad. The whiteboard on the fridge has been wiped clean. It says only, Chipmunk plus chaos. Eli backs slowly out of his own kitchen. I hand Maya a plate of eggs. She steals my fork before I can. Some systems hold. This one's better broken.